Okay, my wife Sherry and I are here, the lovely Sherry and I are here at 8:45 approximately on a Monday night, and we're going to do this experiment. It's a heat engine, and this heat engine is going to, there's a piston here, you see, that can move up and down. And the pressure of this piston is determined by the weight of the piston plus atmospheric pressure pushing down on this thing, plus whatever mass goes on top, and of course the area of the piston figures in too. So first thing I'm going to do is just hold that up for me, please, Sherry. About like that. That's perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to put this in the cold temperature reservoir. We're going to have a number of different states going on here. That's going to be in the cold temperature reservoir at the beginning with nothing on the piston. Okay, and so what we're going to do is they're going to have an isothermal process from A to B because I'm going to let this stay in the cold temperature reservoir the whole time, and I'm going to change the pressure by putting a 200-gram mass on there. And so that is going to change the pressure and therefore change the volume. Sherry's going to keep track of the height of the piston in millimeters, and so we're going to be able to use that to find the volume. Okay, now then we're going to do an isobaric process. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave the 200-gram mass on there so the pressure will remain constant for isobaric, but we're going to move it from cold to hot. That's in this boiling water here. And then we're going to take the 200-gram mass off and leave it in the boiling water so the temperature will remain the same. And that's going to be an isothermal process. And then we're going to let the piston stay on there, let the mass stay on the piston, and put the cylinder back into the cold water again and back to the original state. And that's going to be another isobaric process because we won't have changed the mass on the piston. There's no mass on the piston here and there's none there. So those are the processes we're going to go through. And let's do this. Okay, so that's in there. What's the first reading, Sherry?
47.
47. Okay, so now I'm going to put the mass on there and leave it in the cold water.
And it is 40.
40, okay. And now I'm going to leave the mass on there and move it into the hot water. Here we go. Here we go.
83.
83, okay. Let's write that down. 83. Now I leave it in the hot water and take the mass off. Now?
87.
87, okay. And now I'm going to leave the mass off and put it back into the cold water, like that, and watch it go down. Now what does it read?
47.
47, okay, back to original state. Okay, so now we're going to figure out these pressures later and analyze what happened with all this stuff. But we had 4 processes. We had isothermal process where it was in cold the whole time, and I added the mass to it to change the pressure. Then I left the pressure the same because I didn't change the mass off, and isobaric, so I moved this thing from cold into hot, and then I left it in the hot. I took the mass off, and so that was isothermal because it was in the hot the whole time. And then finally, I let the pressure stay the same, and I moved it back to the cold. And that's the whole process. Thank you, Sherry.
You're welcome.